Hello, everyone. Welcome to William in the Magic Box. Today on our show, we're going to have Mark. Mark is from England in the UK. So let's see what Mark has to say. Enjoy the interview.
How are you today, William?
So hello, Mark. I'm very well. How are you doing today?
Not too bad, thank you. Not too bad. Am I the last interview of the day? You must be tired.
No, so actually, yeah, I just had one before with a lovely man from Italy. But yeah, you are my last one. I'm going to the cinema afterwards.
Oh, fantastic. What are you going to go and see?
Craven the Hunter. It just came out, I think, yesterday or just
Yes.
Craven the Hunter. So yeah, it's I love cinema, so I go every weekend. So that's my therapy of the week.
Oh, fantastic. No, that's a really great place to go for therapy. Yeah. Just zone
How-
out, just concentrate on the screen.
So how was your day today?
It was lovely, thank you. It's been really busy. We had some parrots being picked up. I am parrotless at the moment. We don't have any parrots, any guests at least. I've got my two in there, so they've been picked up. And then we had a really nice group of friends come round, and yeah, we just played video games with my son and had a day at home. It was lovely. It was good.
Amazing. So far, tell me what has been the highlight of your week.
Highlight of my week. So really, I genuinely am just saying I've had a lovely week. So I don't work. I've retired myself quite early. I'm very lucky to be able to do that. So I kind of do what I want during the week. I go to the gym, not that often. I'm not particularly in shape, but like to keep me in reasonable shape, play tennis. But mainly I just spend my time with the birds, and then I go and pick my son up from school, and that's where I get my joy from doing that.
Amazing. Okay, Mark. So let's start the interview talking a little bit more about your yeah, should I call business project or your connection, the work that you do with birds. Yeah.
Yeah.
So walk me through a little bit about the journey so far.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's absolutely insane. So essentially, I worked in the tech industry. So I built sales teams for big tech companies based in Brighton. And yeah, I was fortunate enough to make a lot of money, but it genuinely nearly killed me. I was having serious problems with my physical and starting to be my mental health as well. So this is why I built this office, was because I worked out here. It's at the end of our garden. It's a lovely office. Um, and yeah, and I had some shares. I was very lucky to be given shares when I first joined the company, and we hit certain growth targets, and we took it we took it big, really big. And yeah, I got lots of shares paid out, and I was paid quite well anyway. So instead of spending the money and getting like a Jaguar or like, I don't know, ridiculous holidays, I just squirreled it away and just was like, well, if I keep all of this money, then I'm going to be able to live off this money, and then I can live within my means very frugally. I don't have anything expensive. I don't have fancy watches or anything like that. I just want to buy myself time that I can spend to do what I want to do. Because we only get one go round in this world, and money literally means nothing if you're dead at the end of it. Do you know what I mean? So I took the money, I ran, and was kind of bored. So people were like, "What are you going to do?" And I was like, well, "I don't know. I could either get really ripped in the gym, but I just don't have the discipline to do that." And then my partner Gemma, one night she had a couple of glasses of wine, and she said, "Why don't you turn your office into a bird boarding facility? And why don't you start looking after people's parrots, because you love parrots?" I've just loved parrots since I was a child. Yeah, so since the age of 8, I've been obsessed with parrots. I love them. I think they're amazing. I know people think it's weird, but I don't care what people think. I'm in a fortunate position where I don't care what people think. So yeah, and that's where it started really, and we've been doing really well. So it's very nice, and it's a fun lifestyle. I get up, I feed all the parrots, I get them out, I play with them, I put them back, I clean them out, and then I go and pick my son up after school, and we either go swimming, play tennis, or play Minecraft. We're good at playing Minecraft.
That's amazing. How it works is so you collect some, or it's like a place where people they can live with you for the day or for a week
Yeah.
or.
Yeah, absolutely. So when basically, if you had a parrot, William, and you said, I need you to look up, I'm going on holiday for 2 weeks. My parrot's quite aggressive or whatever. Um, can you look after him? That's where we would come in. We would take them, you'd bring them to us, they'd stay in our cages. We would make sure that they're looked after properly, make sure that they come out of the cage, they engage. We only look after parrots. We don't look after guinea pigs, rabbits, or anything like that.
I see.
Because they're quite a specialist pet. And you need a parrot person to look after a parrot, if that makes sense, just because
Sure.
not everyone likes being pooed on, bitten, screamed at, and having their house destroyed. So it takes a certain person to put up with that. And also, you have to have OCD about windows being open and things like that. There's tons of different things around the house that can kill them. Did you know that avocado can kill a parrot? A small amount of
Didn't.
avocado will kill a parrot within hours. It's things like that. You need a bird person to look after a bird. So
Oh my God, you just made my day now. Learn something new. I didn't know that. Oh my God. I'm originally from Brazil, and I had so many. My family, they had parrots as well around. I grew up seeing parrots passing by like as a pet. So I didn't know that. That's new for me. Wow, that's amazing.
that's
Wow.
amazing. That's really, really cool. So you grew up around parrots
Oh
in
yes, I mean not just parrots, but for example, I could tell so many stories. I have an uncle that he was a farmer manager, so he was like spending most of this his time in a farmer, and he was literally like having parrots every day. He every holidays he was bringing some for his kids, for my family. Sometimes he was making business as well. So I mean, Brazil, where I come from, the area I come from, they are so easy that you can see everywhere. Like they are all, the arara is like a large one, like the colorful one,
yeah,
big.
yeah,
So
the macaw, yeah.
that's very common in Brazil. So it's yeah, it's actually the last one I had was his name was Quito. It was a sweet one, very cute to have at home, and it was a beautiful story because how I found him. I literally found him on the street going to school. I was 12 years old, and I had two options. Should I would go to get the bus to go to school,
Yeah.
or I would run back quick and drop the parrot at home. And I said, okay, you know what? It was on the main street, so a lot of cars was passing by. I said, you know what? I followed my intuition, just grabbed him in my hand, I run way back to my home, and I said, Mom, I just found him on the street, and I got back and I got my bus. So I didn't miss the bus. And when I came back home, the parrot was there looking after. My mom was already he was all settled and became our pet for years. So yeah,
Oh, I
that's
love that. That's
yeah,
amazing. Legend. Yeah, I'd have been like, sod the bus.
yeah, it's crazy. But Mark, tell me where you're from.
So I'm based. So we live in West Sussex, so on the very south coast of England. We live. I guess Worthing is the most sort of. We're near Brighton is the best
Okay,
way to describe
I
it.
see.
Yeah, so we're a 25-minute commute on the train to Brighton. We live just the seafront is just over there.
Wow.
Can probably throw a cricket ball to the sea. But I probably couldn't actually. No. I can walk there in 2 minutes. That's more realistic. So yeah, I've pretty much grown up here. I did. Everybody does a stint living in London. So I lived in Walthamstow for a couple of years.
Yeah.
East 17. What else? I lived in Scotland for a year while I was studying at university. That was cold. Other than that, no, I've pretty much lived here my whole life, and I love it. And I don't think I don't feel compelled to leave at all. I like it.
Amazing. Okay, Mark. So during the interview, I'm going to explore a little bit more about your life and also about your journey so far. Okay.
Okay. Perfect.
Are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through your memories in life and share your point of views?
I certainly am, William. Let's do it.
Amazing. Welcome to William in the Magic Box.
There it is, the box.
Yes. So I have here my best friend. Full of random fun questions. I'm just gonna play a song just first to relax before the first question. Okay?
Okay.
Let's do it. Yes, you can always dance with me. So before we start the game, during the join, if it comes up a question that you don't want to talk about, you don't want to answer, always can change. Okay?
Okay, perfect.
First question for you is, if you could be a character in a movie, who that would be and why?
Who would I be? Can it be a TV program?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh. I probably want to be. I want to be someone cool, like Geralt from The Witcher. Have you seen The Witcher?
No,
Oh, it's played by
I
Henry
know,
Cavill. The
I
dude-
know which one, but I haven't watched it. No.
Oh, the dude is like off the chain. He's just cool. He's just a cool dude. But I just like the idea of being completely taken away. It's a bit like the Viking, the old pagan philosophy in life. They believed that it doesn't matter what you do, your destiny is already written for you. So they have
Interesting.
this amazing bravery because they genuinely believe that their whole life has already been decided by the gods. And that's just like, even though I don't believe in a god or whatever, myself, I don't totally respect people who do, but I just think it's such a liberating way of living. It's already been written, so let's not worry about it. Let's go into battle. If we die, we die. If we don't, then that's great. But it's already been written. It's not our decision. It's not something that we can control. So it's just really relaxing, like in a nice way. And I think that's a good way to live life. It's just be like, okay, just roll with the punches, and whatever happens, happens. And there's only a certain amount. We can only worry about what we can control. Everything else is already written. So yeah.
Think that. Do you believe in destiny?
Do I believe in destiny? I do. I do. In a sense, I believe everything works out for a reason. So yeah, if I say that, then I guess I do have to believe in destiny. Yeah, there's so many sliding doors moments in your life. Like for example, when I went to live in London, I got lost, horrendously lost, and I had to ring my ex-girlfriend, who's now my ex-girlfriend. This was a long time ago, 13, 14, 15 years ago. And I said, look, I've given up, I'm trying to find this house, I'm leaving. And she was like, no, let me help you. So she got on her computer. Back in the day, you didn't have it on your phone. Um, and she guided me. So I said, this is the street I want. She guided me to this new house where I met my now partner. There was no cheating or anything horrible like that, but I met Gemma, who's the love of my life, who's the mother of
Wow.
my child.
Wow.
And I so nearly just gave up on that. It was just by chance that she, I spoke to her on the phone and she guided me there. And there's so many moments in life like that. I think you do
Mhm.
have to kind of believe that there is something at play, maybe like that kind of thing.
Amazing. Next question. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right. Next question, please. What's your idea of a perfect day?
Ooh, the perfect day would be to get up, get my parrot out, Mav, go downstairs, have breakfast with him and my son Rave and my partner when she wants to come down. We take it in turns because my son gets up very early. Play video games with him. Spend a good amount of time outside. Maybe we could take the dog for a walk as a family. That would be lovely. Have a nice meal somewhere, and then and then come back and then just enjoy the house and just I don't know, watch films, play games together. I like it when we play games together. I feel like they're the proper family moments. We're not glued to a screen. We're playing Uno and my son's cheating, and it's just things like that. That's what life is all about. It's not these big fancy trips out and all of this stuff. That's for me that's what life's all about. It's just spending time with the people that you love. That's the perfect day for me.
What's the biggest joy of being a dad?
It's hard. It's just him. He's just amazing. We've made this little person who is. You think that you can, until you have a child, you don't really appreciate how much you can genuinely love something. In the sense that I would die for him in a heartbeat. If there was a situation where he was going to die and I took his place, I would do it without even thinking about it. The greatest joy is just seeing them develop as a person, develop their own personality, and being able to guide them through life and
Mm.
learn from the mistakes that our parents made and make sure that we don't do any of them. Probably a whole new host of mistakes that we're making, but just making sure that he's happy, safe, and learning and being respectful as a human being. That's the biggest joy as a father, definitely.
And so far, what has been the most meaningful lesson you've learned from him?
that I've learned from him.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Rafe does, my son, he doesn't judge anybody. Like you could be the fattest person in the world and you could walk up to him and he would just be like, hi, how are you? Like, you know, and he has um, children in his class from all different backgrounds, ethnicity, you know, social, like, and they're just all met with a completely same level. Hi, I'm Rafe. Do you want to be my friend? And I think that's amazing. And I just think, where do we go wrong? Somewhere along the line, we develop these, you know, sort of prejudices and things like that. But children, it doesn't exist because it hasn't been taught into them yet. Not saying that I have any of those prejudices, but like, it's in just the world in general. We have people who are racist. We have people who are homophobic and things like that. And that's all, in my opinion, that's all a taught behavior. It's a negative behavior that's been taught or drummed into somebody. But what I love about the innocence of a child is that they don't have any of that. And everybody is met with the exact same, you know, like positive attitude, like openness. Like it's incredible, definitely.
Great. Next question. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Okay, before the next question, by the way, I love your jumper. I can see this Christmas jumper right now you're wearing.
Thank you.
So tell me, what's the meaning of Christmas for you, Mark?
The meaning of Christmas for me is genuinely, and this is something that's taken me, it used to be to get smashed, like just drink loads and loads and loads. But now that I've got a child, it's all about just having that one day where everybody's in the same house. Even the irritating relatives, you know, you want to put a time limit on them. But yeah, everybody's in the same house. Nobody's got to work. Nobody's texting other people. Like you're all just focused on having a good time and being present with each other. And that for me is what Christmas is definitely all about.
Amazing. You know what? Of course, we got connected through TikTok. Yeah. Of course, you post a lot of videos there about, you know, the parrots, about your daily routine. So my question for you is, of course, after seeing some videos, there was two there that got my attention. One called Oscar, the other one called Mango. So tell me a little bit about their background, if you can share.
Yes, so Oscar for yeah, if you do go on our TikTok, Avian Retreat, subtle plug. Yeah, so Oscar was this is the beautiful thing about running this boarding business, is that it puts me in the parrot world. And obviously I talk to lots of people who have parrots, and very occasionally it will come up that a parrot needs a new home. And Oscar was one of those cases. A lady rang me and said, do you buy birds? And I said, no, we don't buy birds. We look after them for people when they go on holiday. And she said, oh, would you buy this one? And I was like, I'm not, like, it's actually illegal to sell a African grey. They're a CITES listed species, so it's actually illegal to sell them without a certain article, like a document that you need anyway. So I educated her a little bit on that to start with. Then I started hearing about his living conditions, and it wasn't good. It was really not good. He was being fed pizza, custard creams, and like Haribo and things like that. And I was just mortified. And I just said, I will get in my car right now and I will come and take him away from you. She had respiratory problems. So she had asthma and she needed to have him out of the house. But so I had to convince her that, like, just accept that you've lost money on this investment, or that, you know, as far as she was concerned. And eventually I convinced her to let me go and get him. And I got there, and yeah, it wasn't the best situation for Oscar. So we got him out. That was a month and a half ago, and he'd been in his cage for years. He hadn't interacted with people, and you know, he'd had a bad diet. His claws were overgrown and razor sharp. So yeah, we basically we took him in, we sorted his diet out, we sorted his nails out, and we started to socialize him with people. And now he's doing, as you can see in those videos, he's doing really, really well. And we've actually found him a forever home. Today, we actually had someone come down from Yorkshire who is going to take him. And she's amazing. She answered all the questions perfectly well. She's just this beautiful, kind soul who is going to be perfect for him. And that just, to me, that's the most rewarding thing ever. He's a really lovely guy, you know, and he deserves a much better life than the one he had. And for us to be able to play any part in that, was amazing. He's only 20, so he's still a baby in the grand scheme of things.
Oh, how old? How long did they live, by the way, Mark?
African grey is easily 60 plus.
Oh my God, when you say 20 and he's young, I was like, oh my God, that's very, so long life. They have a really long life.
That is,
Wow.
yeah, and that's the thing about parrots is that not only are they very hard to keep and you need to change your lifestyle to have them, but you also have to, yeah, Oscar will outlive me, probably. What am I? Oh, I'm nearly 40. Yeah, he probably will outlive me.
Wow.
Do you mean? And I'm 38. So it's crazy. The whole thing's crazy. But that's Oscar's story. I know I've gone on a bit, but it was really nice to be a part of that.
I see. And Mango is just one of the parrots that came as well to stay.
Yeah, we actually have two mangoes. Can you remember what color they were?
Yeah, the yellow one.
Oh, yellow. Yeah. So Mango's a kakariki. He's amazing. So he's just one of our guests that comes and stays here.
I see.
He's got a lovely owner and he's completely mad, but yeah, we love Mango.
Oh, sweet. Okay, next question is, what's something you wish you could do every single day?
Something I wish that I could do every single day. That's a really, really good question. I wish I could find the time or motivate myself to do exercise every day, because it's so easy to just say, yeah, I'm not going today. Or this needs doing, so I'm not going today. So that 100% would be exercise, I would say.
What's the biggest joy of being Mark? What do you like the most about being you?
Do you know what? I'm surrounded by really good people. I have amazing friends. I feel like in life, what you do is you spend, I don't know, from the age of 5 to 18, you try and accumulate as many friends as you possibly can. And then anything beyond that, sort of like when you hit the 25 kind of mark, you then start selecting the ones that you know are going to be your friends for life. And they're the right people for you to hang around with. So yeah, I joke, you accumulate as many as you can, and then you're trying to start filtering them out as you get older. And I've got 5, 6 really close friends that I absolutely love. And I know that they're my ride or dies. You know, we're going to be in a nursing home one day, just taking the piss out of each other. And my family's beautiful. Like Gemma and I very rarely argue. We've been together 14 years.
Wow.
I can't remember the last time we had an argument. We just work well. We communicate. Communication's the key to success. If I do something that annoys her, she will just say, "Can I tell you something?" And I'll say, "Yeah, sure." But earlier when you did that, that actually made me feel like this. And we did that. You know, that's what we do. So yeah, I'd say the biggest joy about being me is the people that I'm surrounded by. Definitely.
Is Jen around or not? She cannot hear you right now. Can she?
No, she's in the house wrangling the parrots and the dog and the child.
Okay, yes, I could see your eyes shining talking about her. Okay, she's watching this interview right now, and you have a moment, an opportunity to send her a message. What would you say? She's watching.
That's a really good. Just say I love you. You know, more than I could ever probably express in words. You saved me. She genuinely saved me from probably a dark road that I would have ended up going down. I don't have a good relationship with alcohol. And yeah, she gave me a reason to basically become a better person. I needed to become a better person so that I felt that I was, you know, enough for her. And she puts up with all my madness, you know, like animals and craziness and things like that. She's just the most amazing person ever. And I love you. When you're watching this, I love you. I won't go too mushy, but I love you very much. And yeah, that's it.
Beautiful, beautiful. I'm sure she's gonna be smiling right now, I'm sure.
I hope so. That'd be nice.
Next question.
Yes, go for it.
Okay, Mark from England. Next question is, what makes you most uncomfortable about yourself?
My anxiety, definitely. So I suffer quite badly from social anxiety. I don't like being in crowded places, and I don't even like being in a room with like 3 or 4 people. Quite a lot of the time, if I know them, I'm fine. But if it's, you know, if it's just random people, then that makes me feel uncomfortable. And I think a really important message there is I really don't think that men talk about their mental health enough. So I've gone on the opposite approach. I tell people, and sometimes you get a weird reaction. Sometimes you get a fine. I just say, "Oh, I suffer from social anxiety. So if I'm a bit awkward or if I start sweating in here, then just to let you know." And most of the time, people are like, "Oh no, that's cool." And then they'll say, "Oh, I actually suffer a bit. I think I suffer from that." But yeah, so I think I need to push myself to not be a hermit crab. And I do put myself in situations a bit like today. I was like, no, I'd love to talk to William. He seems like a really lovely guy, which you are, by the way.
Thank you.
I'm gonna have a chat with him, and don't feel anxious at all. But yeah, so social anxiety is something that I've struggled with, definitely.
I'm going to start spotting now. If you start sweating for some reason, I'm going to go, okay, I'm taking too far now.
Oh no, it's I'll tell you. That's the beauty. I've learned to tell people now.
So tell me, why is that? What do you think comes from this, social anxiety? Why do you think it happened to you?
I genuinely don't know. I think maybe it was my upbringing.
Mm-hmm.
We come from a strange generation. So I was born in '86, and I do find that there's quite a lot of similarities between what I've been through and what other people my age have gone through. And we were of that generation where your parents were like, "Shut up and sit down, do this, do as you're told," very restricted. And I think, we were never told particularly much that we were good enough. And I think that gave us self-esteem issues. And I think that seed has just been untouched, unchecked, and allowed to grow within people. And that's why we are quite shy, timid. We don't like being put in social situations. We like what's safe, and what's safe is staying at home and being on the sofa, eating Maltesers and smashing a takeaway. That's safe. Going out to a dinner party with some randoms that you don't really know, like, yeah, no, it's not the one, William. It's not the one. But yeah, so I think that's probably the reason.
Amazing. Great. 3 questions left. Let's
Oh
do
wow,
it.
okay.
Okay, next question is, what's your all-time favorite band and why?
All-time favorite band. Do you know what? I'm terrible with music. I don't have a favorite. I don't know. I like Whitney Houston. I like Celine Dion. I like the power singers. And it just reminds me of various elements of my childhood. I like Sade, Lovers Rock. That's a tune. Tracy Chapman. I'm going to go with Tracy Chapman because I grew up listening to Tracy Chapman. And yeah, there's a soundtrack to your life and a certain element of your life. Tracy Chapman has been a consistent player in the soundtrack of the life of me, and I find comfort in her music, and there's a familiarity there that I just love.
And what's the meaning of life for you, Mark?
The meaning of life is for me is it's such a good question, isn't it? It is just to try and enjoy the passing of time. We only get one go round, and we shouldn't waste a minute of it with unnecessary stress. We should never ever benchmark ourselves against other people. That's a dangerous way to live. We should never hold grudges. It was a famous quote. I can't remember who said it, but in essence, they said that resentment is like drinking poison and then expecting the other person to die. So you're the one that bears that pain, that anguish, and you're the one that suffers psychologically and physiologically.
Mm-hmm.
You want the other, but you're expecting or wanting the other person to have a negative experience from your resentment. It's just stupid. So the meaning of life for me is to enjoy the passing of time.
And aging for you is something that bothers you, or for you it's just a matter of life?
No, and this is another thing. So we've been going through, bless her, Gemma, because it's definitely different for women. I feel like, again, that's something that the media, all of that has ingrained into them. Avoid growing old, Botox, fillers, whatever it is. And Gemma and I often talk about this. And my philosophy is genuinely, I know numerous people, good people, who have not made it to the age that I am now.
Yeah.
So I don't view it. I view it as an absolute privilege to be
Yeah.
38. I went to a funeral not that long ago of a 31-year-old who I loved and adored. Again, mental health got the better of him, and it was unfortunately that was the end for him. But he was 31,
Wow.
and so what that does, you just have to appreciate. Look, we're still here. We're still living life, and that
Yeah.
is an honor and a privilege. And
Totally.
the most humbling thing you can do is just think of all the people that didn't make it to the age, that you are now. There's children that don't make it, into their teens. And it's horrible and it's sad. It's devastating. But so let's be grateful for what we have, and we're still here. So let's make sure that we're trying to enjoy every moment. Definitely.
I totally agree, Mark. I think aging, it's a beautiful thing. You know what I mean? For you to be able to say, "Oh my God, I'm the age I am right now," it's a bless because somehow, it's still here, living life. You are living at every decade, every part that, so, as you said, some people they cannot make it for one or another reason, and I
Yeah.
think that's beautiful. I know sometimes it can be scary, but like, my God, I'm aging, something happening. However, it's just the time that you are going through, and I think it's beautiful as well.
Yeah.
Let's embrace. Embracing every age is good.
Yeah, absolutely. And I really like it. I like the idea. I can be old and miserable, and just but secretly not miserable, but like just to go with the
Yeah.
stereotype, just poke my stick at young people. I like to say that I'm level 38. I'm not 38 years old. I'm level 38. So it's like a video game. Every year we level up and we get better. So that's a better way to look at it, I'd say.
2 questions left. Let's
Okay,
do it.
perfect.
Right, so we are in 2025. My God, the new year ahead, just starting right now. And of course, 2024 is gone. My question for you is, you're the kind of person that during this time of the year, you make new resolutions, you kind of start new projects, or you kind of focus yourself in new journeys, or you just go with the flow? How does it work for you?
Um, I think the best New Year's resolution I ever made was, I do make them occasionally. Like, I think it was out of necessity. I was really struggling with alcohol and that anxiety. I think a lot of people self-medicate with alcohol. So you'll see people like, oh, he likes to drink, doesn't he? He likes to drink. If you scratch beneath the surface there, somebody who likes to drink, 9 times out of 10, I would say, is probably trying to mask the psychological
Mhm.
demons that
Yeah.
that is going on. But I hit rock bottom 2 years ago. Yeah, it'd be 2 years ago this Christmas, where I went out on two work dues and I was drunk. So I went out, got absolutely smashed with all my team. So I had a team of 20 to 30 people. I took them out, got really drunk. And then the leadership team the next night. So I was just still hungover and I was still like, okay, cool. And then I got drunk 2 nights in a row, basically. And then I decided that I couldn't face the hangover and the anxiety. So I just kept drinking and I ended up being drunk for about 4 days.
Wow.
And that was a really dark time for me because I was drunk on Christmas Day. Like it was really bad. That was like the day of reckoning for me. So I made a New Year's resolution that I would never drink again. And yeah, we're coming up to 2 years. On the 28th of January, this will be 2 years of not drinking. And it was horrible. Like it was to start with, and it's been tough going on holidays, going to parties, going to weddings and things like that. But that was the best New Year's resolution I ever made, and I don't think I'll ever go back on that. So yeah, I don't. I typically just go with the flow, but that year I did, and I'm really glad that I did.
And knowing the person you are right now, when you look back to those challenge journey that's, drinking, and do you think that if you had the superpower of erasing that time of your life, would you do it or would you keep it?
It's a really good question because you have to go through that to become the person that you are now.
Uh-huh.
I wish I could have, and actually sort of nods a little bit to the question I'm going to ask you. But I wish I could go back and tell myself, like, you don't want this, mate. Like I've been to the end of the road already. You don't need to go down it. I can tell you it's pretty bad. You
I see.
can walk away from that. Um,
I just love your honesty, the way you say as well, and you find you smiling about it, which is great. You know what I mean? When you look back, it was dark, it was difficult, but now you can smile and you can laugh about it. It's amazing
yeah.
too.
And do you know what? I genuinely, Gemma says, you would just tell anybody that. Like most people would keep, I don't want to hide it. And I don't want to, I want people to hear the story because I
Yeah,
think that there's quite a lot of people out there that are in the same position. And I think the biggest reason for people not accessing help or not thinking, that there is a way out, or if that does happen to other people, is because for whatever reason it's been drummed into us that men don't talk about their mental health
yeah,
and their problems. Whereas, no, if one person watches this and it makes a difference, I'd be super happy, and that'd be amazing.
amazing. Great. Next question is, what things do you consider to be relationship deal breakers?
Deal breakers. If they don't like parrots, William, they're off. They're out of here. I sound like a weird parrot guy. No, I think for me now, with a child, if I was in a, which I don't ever anticipate being in that situation, hopefully, but I would say my son has to come first, and that would be, that would be a deal breaker. If he was ever viewed as anything but, the primary objective, as it were, everything has to evolve around him. He cannot just be secondary to, oh, you
Totally.
see here, like that wouldn't even for a minute entertain it. But I do think that the world of relationships has completely changed. From our generation where we just about getting the mobile phones and we could text.
Yeah.
We had enough credit and it limits on the number of letters that you were allowed to type. But now they're on Tinder, they're like swiping and doing all this stuff, and they'll meet up with some person on the same night. And it's worrying me because it's starting to create this culture where they don't talk to each other and they don't build up meaningful relationships. They're literally like, do you want to come around to my house? Yes. And then that's it. And you're just like, well, this is terrifying. What kind of relationship are these guys gonna have? And then these the girls seem to think that they need to have, they're having like Botox and things like that at the age of 17, 18.
I know.
Oh my God. You don't need to you're beautiful. You do not need
Yeah.
to do that. Okay. You don't need to, again, benchmark yourself against some celebrity.
Yeah.
You're beautiful in your own way. And it's just, I don't know. I'm worried. I'm very worried about when Rafe starts dating. God knows what it would be then. It'd be like virtual reality or something. Something like that. But yeah.
I would love him to watch this interview like in 10 years time or 12 years time when he start dating. He's gonna go like, okay, Dad, that was your idea. Now I can tell you the truth.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. That would be brilliant. It'll be immortalized on YouTube, and I can show him at various stages of his life, I guess. That'd be cool.
Last question, ready?
Yes, I'm ready. Let's do it.
Let's do one. But before the last question, so far, what the parrots, the birds, what have they have taught you so far?
What have they taught me? The parrots, in all seriousness, the parrots help me with my anxieties in general, and and things like that. If I can sit there with my parrot Mav, and I'll just cuddle him, like, and just be close to him, like just cuddle him, and he is like, you get these these emotional support dogs and things like that. For me, parrots play a big part in keeping me sane, and I love them, caring for them, looking after them. I don't ever view myself as an owner of a parrot. The Hawaiians have a word for this. It's called kahu, which means guardian. We don't own the bird. We don't own the dog. We're their kahu, which basically means we're their guardian. And so being their guardian and just being part of their lives is just, I need them more than they need me, if I'm being totally honest with you. I'd be lost without Mav. He's my best mate. I need him basically. Thank God he lives for a long time, because we'll probably go at about the same time. He's a species that doesn't live as long as the African grey, but he probably...
He's gonna look after you properly. Don't worry, he's gonna look after you very well.
Yeah.
As you mentioned about that, about this, back to the story I told you before about Quito, the little parrot that I found in the street. So I'll tell you how. It's quite sad the way things finished. However, there's a beautiful story behind. So after we, when I got him and I came back home and, we start, feed him and look after him very well, he chose one of a member of our family. So it was me, my sister, my mom, and my dad. And for one reason or another, he chose my dad. It means that he was after my dad all the time. But my dad is a truck driver, and so he was coming back home like every late night sometimes. So our routine was, after the whole day, he was spending time with my mom, with my sister, with me, like in different timing. So we had this back room, like where we put him to sleep, like because it was darker, so like a little bit darker. So we put him in his cage. He was there very quiet. Fun enough, Mark, it was incredible. So it was a lot of cars and trucks passing by in the street where I was living at the time. But he knew the sound of my dad's truck. And as soon as he heard the noise far away, he starts like making noises in the middle of the night. It was incredible. And he didn't stop until my dad was a routine. My dad was come back home and he was straight away to the case and take him. And he was like eating with my dad, was around him and before he went to bed. So it was our daily routine for my dad, and it was his therapy. So sadly, one day there was this cat that he was passing by. And yeah, you can see already what happened. So the cat, jumped on him, and it didn't, kill him straight away, but he couldn't survive because of the damage that was happening. So anyway, so that night, my dad didn't know until he came back home. Oh my God, it was on the saddest day. I'm telling you now, I get goosebumps because I remember my mom everyone was sad because my dad would be, like, my God, he'll die. Like, we were like, my God, how are we gonna tell him? So he came back home like every evening, like nights, and my mom didn't know how to tell him. And I think I never seen my dad crying as I saw that night when he came back home and the bird was there, Kit wasn't there anymore. Oh my God, that was like, I remember the moment. Since then, we didn't have any pet anymore because it broke our hearts, like not having him around. So anyway, so it was, but I remember him. He was such a shine, like he was literally making my family very happy with his sound, and he was around all of us. But my dad was his favorite one. He just chose my dad for some reason. So that's the story.
I love that. That's such a beautiful story. And although I know it's a sad ending, it's just,
Yeah.
how lovely for your dad to have that relation.
Absolutely, and it was so sweet to see. Even my mom was like, "My God, how is it possible for him to know the sound of your truck?" You know what I mean? There are so many trucks passing by, but he knew the one that he was my dad. It's such what a beautiful connection they had. Anyway,
That's brilliant. I love that. That's great.
last question is, what is the nicest thing a family member has ever done for you?
The nicest thing I found, Gemma bought me a PlayStation 4 once. That was pretty sweet. The nicest thing a family member has ever done for me, that is, do you know what? It's just, I don't know. I couldn't point out a single thing. Um, they just always consider me in their decision-making process. Like, if we go on a trip, they will, like Gemma will research it and see if there's any like zoological parks or conservation efforts or anything like that that's going on. Just every day, really, they just consider it to me, and they put up with my insanity, and yeah, I love them for it. I absolutely love them for it. I can genuinely say that 99% of the time I'm stress free because of the environment that they have created for me, and that kind of like living dynamic, as it were. That's the best thing. But yeah, also the PlayStation 4 was pretty awesome because it had only just come out at the time. So swings and roundabouts, isn't it? Like, mainly the life thing.
All right, it's not the end yet. Let's play now the word association game. Okay, I'm going to give away some words. Just tell one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking. Let's start with family,
Love.
money,
Nice to have.
fear,
Always going to be there.
life,
Is to live it. Live it.
love,
Um, love. Quick thinking. That's family. That
okay,
is,
religion,
yeah, like everybody to their own. Do you know what I mean? And respect everybody's opinion and like
Absolutely.
beliefs, not just opinions. Sorry.
Sex,
Nice.
friendship,
Essential.
desire,
Passion.
regret,
Inevitable.
success,
Measured in different ways by different people.
wish,
Always keep wishing. Like, yeah, just always have a wish.
happiness.
It's what we all, pursue. That's what, that's the goal. That's the goal. Yeah.
One word for England.
One word for England. Home.
And the last one now, parrots, one word.
I'm gonna just go with love because I love them.
Beautiful. If I would, let's pretend I'm going to meet Jenna for a coffee right now, and I'm going to ask her, define Mark in one positive word and one negative word only. What should say?
Passionate.
Okay.
Yeah.
And negative?
Oh, the negative, eccentric. Oh no, I think she likes that about me. Obsessive.
What's your star sign astrology, Mark?
I think I'm a Libra.
Libra?
Yeah.
Okay, amazing. Let's play now, Mark, in the magic box, and you can ask me a question. But before you ask me the question, since you start, your journey with the parrot, so tell me a fun or a meaningful situation that you're never gonna forget, that's always gonna have a special place in your heart.
With the parrots?
Yeah, like a fun or a meaningful, could be any story that you have then that you were like, wow, I'll never forget that.
Okay, I've got it immediately. So when I was 8, I used to go to a local farm called Fisher's Farm. This place was legendary when you were a kid. They had, if you loved animals, it was amazing. They had all the farm animals, like reptiles, everything you could think of. But they had one cockatoo, who was, her name was Louise, and she had this big cage outside by the cafe. And it was the first time I'd ever seen a parrot species, like a large parrot species. So I was obsessed with her. My family ended up getting a sort of annual membership to that farm, and we used to go every weekend, pretty much in the summer. And I would drag these horrendous little plastic chairs back in the day from the cafe, put it in front of her cage, and I'd just watch her for hours. Sometimes I'd spend the whole day just watching her. And watching her climb around, eat her food. She'd let me sometimes tickle her head. Like, I loved this bird so much. And yeah, so that was when I was 8. When was this? 5 months ago, 6 months ago, when I first started the parrot boarding business. The old manager of Fisher's Farm, she was the manager there for 30 years. The old manager called me up and said, "Hi, do you look after cockatoos?" And I said, "Yes, we do look after cockatoos. We have big cages. We love cockatoos." And she said, "Oh, well, actually, it's. I don't know if you live locally like all your life, but there used to be a farm."
Oh my God.
And it was the same parrot. And
Oh my God.
comes here and she comes and stays with me. And I love that. But like, she got me started in parrots. And like 30 years, she's 48 years old.
Wow.
And if you go on our, you'll see videos of me cuddling her and things like that. She's the most affectionate, gorgeous bird who lived a tough life in that farm because she was outside most of the time, just constantly being stared at, not much attention and affection outside of being sort of an object of whatever. Yeah, and I can cuddle her like a cat. And it's just incredible that she's come, like, talk about destiny earlier, that
Yeah.
she came back 30 years later, we're reunited, and I get
Wow.
to look after the bird that started my whole passion off.
That's amazing. Oh my God, what a great story. Wow.
Yeah, it was lovely.
Okay, Mark, can you ask me a question? No.
I'm going to ask you, William. As in, I could ask you a million questions because I absolutely love what you do. I genuinely do.
Thank you.
And you've got such an upbeat, positive vibe, and I love that. I really, really love that.
Thank you.
So I never lose that, William. Keep that.
The show makes me like the show when I'm here doing like connect with people around the globe. It's the best of me. Trust me, I feel the best here.
That's brilliant, and that you can absolutely tell that. Um,
The
yeah,
greatest.
the transfer of enthusiasm. So what I used to say in sales is like is the transfer of enthusiasm.
Right.
But I see you get passionate about it, and I get passionate about it, and it's just hard not to be, that to be infectious. So my question to you is, if you could go back to your 16-year-old self, so you could genuinely go back in time
Wow.
to your 16-year-old self,
Mhm.
and you have, let's say, 30 seconds. So like, you don't have to worry about convincing, oh, by the way, I am the older you. Like, you, 16-year-old you gets it, and you have 30 seconds with that your younger self.
Yeah.
What would you say within those 30 seconds?
Oh my God, what a great question, Mark. You know what? I'm going back right now to the 16 years old back in Brazil. You know, I'll tell myself, you know what? You are going through a lot of situation in your life right now that you want to change your life, you want to live a better life, you want to help your parents, you want to, achieve your dreams and everything come along. However, give time. Don't be too much anxious. That everything will cut out the way you want. Everything is gonna come out in the right time. Don't be so anxious about that because I know you want so badly, but everything's gonna come in the right time. And if it's meant to be for you, trust me, it will come and it will find a way to get to you. So don't worry too much about anything. Do your part, but just let everything go at the same time. Everything needs to work it out together. The time, the people around you, everything needs to go all together, because even if you push too much, you're not going to get anywhere, because everything needs to work at the same time. So just relax, live the moment, and things going to work out in the end, trust me. And when I look back, the 16 years old, I was right.
Yeah, I love that. That's brilliant. That's fantastic. That's a really good answer.
Did you enjoy the interview, Mark?
Yes, I did. Thank you very much. No, thank you so much for having me. I've really
Thanks.
It's been a pleasure speaking with you, William. It genuinely has, really has.
Thanks again for taking the time, and it's so lovely to see your videos on TikTok. If you're part with the parrots, and I can see the parrots enjoying themselves as well. I think it's a genuine connection, and carry on as well with your videos. I hope people they connect more with you. I hope they come after of your business as well, and they can trust someone who just not for the business, for the love and the passion and the connection with the parrots. So I think you are in the right place doing the right thing. So amazing. I love that.
Thank you very much. No, I really appreciate it, William. Thank you.
Before you go, if you can share a positive message or anything that you live by.
Yeah, I think it's just sort of like what we've been talking about through this whole process is that you only get one go round in life.
Yeah.
Time is the most valuable asset that we have. Everything else can be spent, regained, whatever, money, possessions, all of that. You can get them, you can lose them, whatever, and replace them, but you cannot replace time. So spend your life doing what you want to do, what you think other people want you to be doing, because it's your life. Just enjoy it.
Amazing. Happy New Year, Mark. I just hope all the best for you, your family. Say hello to John for me, and your son as well. And you keep in touch. It was a pleasure having you on the show. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Happy New Year, William, and thank you very much for having me. I've really enjoyed it.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye, mate.
Bye. So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why you'd like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye-bye. See you next time.